screaming. Kind hands wrapped around me as I tried to remember what had scared me. The room was so dark it appeared empty. My memory might not be the greatest, but I remember feeling like the loneliest person in the world. I must have kept screaming because one of my roommates said, "It will pass." "It won't," I said. The door cracked open like a human skull. A ray of light blinded me. A woman's familiar voice comforted me from a place I could not see. "You must sleep," a woman's familiar voice said. "Tomorrow is going to be a big day for you. Halloween is tomorrow." Her voice grounded me and chased away my fear. I had no idea what she was talking about, but it didn't matter. I felt safe. "Of course," I said. "I'd do anything for you." Once I stopped fighting, those kind hands helped me lie down. One of my roommates pulled the blanket up to my neck and trapped me under the covers. The other girls went back to bed. No one complained about how much sleep I had cost them over the years. Everyone was so kind. The door closed, dropping us all in darkness. I could hear the lock click. We were safe. As I lay in bed, a nagging fear sat in my chest. I was afraid I had forgotten something. Something important. My mind reached out for distant memories that were beyond my reach. I tried to remember the dream, the nightmare, but it remained out of reach. My exhaustion made this task impossible. My eyes closed. Whatever I was trying to remember faded away and never came back. I woke up alone on Halloween. Soft blankets cradled me. I sat up and looked around. Something about the empty beds around me scared me. I heard voices outside. Standing up, I followed the hum of those voices. The door opened. It was not locked. The weak light did not blind me this time. I walked down the hall into the community's outdoor garden. The sunlight blinded me. My roommates raced up to me and led me into the garden. I followed them as my eyes adjusted to the light. Relief lightened my steps and brought me unspeakable joy. I blindly danced with the men, women, and children as my vision grew stronger. The garden was filled with the spookiest jack-o'-lanterns I had ever seen, and the children's homemade scarecrows were scattered around the garden like boneless guardians. Massive trees grew around us like ancient pillars, holding up the sky covered in handmade Halloween decorations. It was a place of terrifying beauty. My eyes burned from happiness as I asked to relax in the shade. My roommates led me to a great maple tree and helped me sink into the yellow grass. I didn't see him at first. Warm sunlight kissed my skin, and I couldn't imagine anything bad could be in this perfect garden. After all, the only people in the garden were the laughing, excited young people, lost in their pleasant fantasies, and children dressed up as witches, elves, aliens, trolls, vampires, zombies, ghosts, devils, skeletons, spiders, and black cats. "Play with us," the lone child dressed up as a clown yelled. "I'll pass," I said. The fall breeze cooled my burning skin. I was glad to be bathing in the safety of the shadow created by that large, firm maple tree shooting up to the sky. I could not be bothered to move. The heat persuaded me to allow myself to be slow and lazy after many sleepless nights. The garden was the one place where I felt safe. And then a man caught my eye. There was nothing special about him. He was dressed casually in a simple brown suit, but looked very put together. The only reason I stared at him was because I had never seen him before, even though he fit well enough. To my surprise, he waved to me. Before I could stop my hand, I waved back. He looked familiar. Then I realized that he looked like something from my nightmares. What was this strange man doing here? Was he truly a man from my nightmares? Was I going crazy? No. My nightmares were not real. The world was a rational place. I laughed and lay back between the jack-o'-lanterns that someone had scattered on the dying grass. I woke up surrounded by fearful faces. Terrified hands pulled me up, and I remembered the man who was not special. I wondered if I had created him from my nightmares after all. "There's an outsider here," one of my roommates said. "He'll disappear," I said. "He won't," the mob around me insisted. A familiar woman quieted the mob with a whisper and walked to me. The familiar woman towered over me, draped in sheep flesh and wearing ram horns. "You must kill him," the familiar woman said, "or leave with him and never return." "Of course," I said. "I'd do anything for you." The woman put her hand on my shoulder. Her touch grounded me in reality and chased away the last of my fear. She was my savior. One of my roommates handed me a kitchen knife. We had no weapons here. The other girls told me they would support whatever choice I made without judgment. I left the safety of the men, women, and children behind me and approached the man waiting for me at the end of the field. I brandished my knife, but the man didn't seem to see me as a threat. He looked at me like a child, waving around a slightly sharp umbrella. "Who are you?" I asked, lowering the blade. "I'm here to save you," the man said. "Save me?" I asked. "To save me, you must first answer my riddle. Prove to me your word is true, and I will go with you. If your word is just a lie, then by my hand, you'll surely die." "Stop this foolishness," the man said. "I'm taking you home." Something about the man made me snap. I didn't know why I did it, but I drove the knife into his chest and tore it out, and drove it back into the man's chest again and again. "What do you know about me, stranger?" I cried. "This is my home now, and you are the danger." My family, my community, began to applaud when I cut off his face. I shred his body into smaller and smaller parts, like a child ripping the wings off a butterfly. The children around me peeked around their parents and excitedly cheered as I saved us all from the dangerous outsider that Halloween morning. The end. I hope you enjoyed my story.